afternoon, Diamond Prox. Bolha here. Welcome to your first press conference in Brazil. Congratulations on the win and on the MVP. And Diamond, today you guys played a really solid game. You guys controlled the game, especially after level 6 with TF's ultimate, and you were able to rotate the map and completely shut down Akali. Was that the intentional gameplay when you guys look at the draft, or that was just how the game turned out? If you could speak a little more about that.
I think turning down Akali is one part of the plan always for every team when it's being like blind picked, because it's a really strong champion. If you let her scale for free, she will dominate the fights, or at least provide more than your counterparts would most of the time. So yeah, it was part of the plan, but overall, the whole draft you can't always prepare. You always need to adapt because there are some strange picks can happen, like Jarvan for jungle, which is like tier 3 jungler or stuff like that. You need to be always ready. So we just played our game. I think we improved our macro quite a bit, so we didn't make the stupid mistakes that we did before. That's why it was cleaner than usual.
Sounds good. Thank you, Diamond Prox.
Hello, Diamond. My name is Beatriz Coutinho. I work at MGG Brazil. There were many people excited about your announcement about coming to Brazil, but many also doubted about your potential. And Brazil has a history of wanting to force the retirement of some players, as it happens with BRTT. Do you feel any pressure about this kind of teasing and even disrespect from the crowd?
I'm pretty sure there's much more disrespect in these terms in European scene, especially in solo queue. Whenever I play solo queue, like, and I make mistakes, they always tell me to retire. So like, I'm kinda used to it. And in Brazil, I don't see anything wrong with it, especially when BRTT and he's like, what is he, 30 now, and he still wins the scene. So I really think the haters should be quiet.
Thanks.
Diamond Hockey from Globo Sport here, and I would like to ask you what was different in this match comparing to your other matches. Like you played so well today.
I think today was different that like two factors or maybe three. We improved as a team quite a bit. Our opponents were not as strong as previously. I think, for example, Flamengo and Pain are much stronger than this team, so it was easier to play. And the draft today, I mean, the draft was won harder than before. Let's say, put it like this, it was much better. So I think from those 3 points, it was like overall a better performance.
Hello, Diamond. Vitor Ventura from Ice Sports here. So, you guys won today, but Furia was coming with a lose streak in the last few matches. So, do you think the lineup, is having a hard time adapting to this new English speaking context, or do you think the problem is another factor that we don't see?
I think there are many different problems if we use this word. Like, it's maybe too harsh of a word. For example, English barrier, like language barrier, is always a possibility why it makes a game harder for some players. For example, I don't experience like any any problems with it because I sometimes even think in English and it comes naturally to me to speak it in games. But for some other players that are used to speak Portuguese in the team and maybe never spoke English, or at least never were forced to speak English all the time, it might be problematic for them. So I can see them adapting to it. It takes time, I know from my own experience. Other than that, there are many other factors that are being involved in the poor early performances, but I'm really used to losing the early season, so I don't really mind.
Hello, Diamond Prox, Wesley from the Plate Spots here. So, how is your adaptation not only to the Brazilian competitive scenario but also to the country's culture?
What was the second part? Excuse me.
Uh, and your adaptation with the country's culture.
Oh, I see. Uh, I mean, I haven't got much time to walk around in Brazil, sadly. I would really like to visit some like popular places, maybe see some museums and stuff like that, but I am locked in a cage and trying to practice as much as I can. Maybe on on an off day I will visit something. Other than that, I really like Brazil from what I see now. I like the people, I like the food, I like the weather a lot because it's not so hot right now. I know I hate it when it's hot and I hate it when it's too cold, so it's perfect weather right now. And about adapting to the playstyle, I'm still learning. It's not like I already adapted and I know everything. I'm still learning because there are some like junglers play much different from Europe here, and overall teams are playing different. The meta as well shifted a lot, so I really need to see what works here and what doesn't. And I understand now much more than I understood when I came here. I was really clueless about what people are going to play and how they're gonna do stuff. It's really important for a jungler to know how people act in the game, like your teammates and opponents as well. So I'm still learning in that regard.
Okay, thank you.
Diamond Bolha here again, and I have a question that I talk to people a lot about because I myself don't live in Brazil anymore, and it happens to me that I play in a few different servers. And you, if I'm correct, you play on EU, CIS, NA, and Brazil. If you have another server you play, please feel free to add on. But one thing that we hear a lot is how bad and how toxic Brazilian server is, and I would like you to talk about all the servers you played in a matter of level of playing and in a matter of toxicity and where Brazil would sit. If Brazil would be the more toxic, the less toxic, the best place in people's playing mechanics, or the worst. So like if you can talk a little more about where does our server sit in comparison to the other servers you played in.
Okay. As you asked, I also played on Vietnamese server, Chinese server, a couple of Chinese servers, and also Korean server. And I can say that Brazil solo queue in terms of level sits somewhere or on like either poor Chinese servers, like not the best one for sure, or Vietnamese servers. Or maybe, yeah, mostly those servers come to mind. And in terms of toxicity, I would say I really don't know like so much because I don't speak Portuguese. I don't know what people are spamming in game all the time. But I think in terms of like how much they spam and how much they ping sometimes and sometimes flame, it's on the same level as Korea, I would say. Like Korean solo queue is pretty toxic, but not on the same level as EU West.
Okay, so you said Europe would be the more toxic than Korea and Brazil?
I think Europe is the most toxic of them all. There's not even other servers are not even close.
Yep, I understand that. Спасибо, Diamond.
Пожалуйста.
Хорошо, хорошо.